This is Scott Mire from Peavey, and today we'd like to show you ReValver, our new amp modeling software package. ReValver is arguably the most advanced amp modeling software package on the market today. It's the only amp modeling package that will allow you to edit an amp model all the way down to the electronics. What you see here is a 6505 amp, and this is every tube in the amplifier. From the input stage all the way to the output stage, and the tone stack. So I could click on one of the tubes, I could change the tube type, I can change the plate load, resistance, bias. I could change the tone stack. If I have a 6505 but I want a British tone stack, I can do that. You can load in any tone stack from any of the 15 included amp models. You can edit the power supply, say you want a sagging power supply, output transformer, feedback loop, all the low levels, all the way down to the electronic components. Now, you don't have to see that functionality. It's advanced, but it's there. It's one click away. You could also just use the software by loading in the modules. It has the paradigm of a rack of gear that guitar players are familiar with. You can load a module in. It ships with 15 amp modules. Besides the flagship Peavey amps, you also have a lot of amplifiers that people know and love. Now you can mix and match preamps and power amps. There are 12 preamps and 9 power amps. So you could have the preamp from a 6505 and maybe a British power amp. Effects, 19 classic stomp boxes. And also 11 rack effects. Now, one interesting thing is if you have a third-party plug-in, such as a ReVerb VST plug-in, you can load it into the VST host module. That allows you to extend the software with any plugin you have. So if you were to load in a VST, it shows up as a single rack space module in the software. It also has 9 utility functions, such as tuners, strobe tuner. It also has a signal splitter, so you can split the signal and run 2 different rigs and sum them on the output. Speakers. It ships with 150 speaker cabinet simulation, so that's 150 combination variations of speaker and microphone. You can choose one of 150. You can tweak them, little EQ, crunch. You could simulate the microphone being overdriven a little. If for some reason 150 cabinets are not enough, you can actually go in, design your own cabinet. So the actual box, the depth, the physical dimensions, the speaker, what kind of speaker, how many speakers, microphone. There are 20 microphone models. How far was the microphone from the cabinet? Was it on axis or off axis? So you've got a lot of power there. You've got the deep editing. You can design your own cabinet, or you can just work with the modules that ship. And obviously, the modules work just like the real world counterpart. So there's another thing about this package is this is the only amp modeling package that comes from an actual tube amp manufacturer, over 40 years of tube amp design experience. So this package was developed in conjunction with actual amp engineers, and in this case, some engineers that actually built some of the amps that are in this package. So at the end of the day, the benchmark that an amp modeling package would be judged on would be tone. So I got a demo song here. There's 2 guitar tracks. There's a rhythm track and a little lead track. They were recorded bone dry, the guitar straight into the interface, straight into the computer. If I were to decide that, a 6505 sounds good on this track, but maybe a JSX would be better, I could replace it in real time. Now, all the amp models are based on the real world hardware counterparts. If a JSX has 3 channels, which it does, the amp model will have 3 channels. Every control that's represented in hardware is represented in software. Every control that you see on the amp, MIDI mappable. So, for example, if you had a MIDI pedal board and for some reason you wanted to control the gain knob with an expression pedal, you right mouse click, MIDI learn, hit the expression pedal. It forms a relationship between the control and the pedal. You could save it with the preset, and it loads back in. So, ReValver is available on Windows and the Mac, VST and AU. Runs as a plug-in and standalone. It comes in 2 versions. Mark III, which has all 15 amps, Peavey amps and the other amps, and it also has the deep editing functionality. $299 retail. There's a ReValver HP version, which only has the Peavey amps and it hides some of the low-level functionality. $99 retail. That's about it.